Thank you. I have a question for you. Actually, many questions, but I'll just start with one. The first one relates to being in this physical body. Everything that I've read is we're made up of source energy. Everything is energy vibrating at a specific frequency. So this chair, for example, has its own frequency, and I see it as a frequency.
And consciousness.
And consciousness. Okay. So
and it's quite happy with you sitting there.
Wonderful. It feels good to sit here. But I wonder sometimes if the fact that I can sit on this chair and I don't fall right through it is the same part that's leaving me here. I sometimes wonder, can I extricate myself from this physical body?
Yes.
Like I hear Monday, I hear 5:30 afternoon, I hear March, and that's all created by man.
Yes, it's part of framing up the time-space reality to give you a sense of motion, to give you a sense of expansion. Time is irrelevant, but the fact that this conversation has never been before into all of the universe, so it is producing something as a result of the conversation that didn't exist before, means the universe has expanded as a result of this conversation, so it has become more. And that's the value of time-space reality. It makes the stability from which you bounce into the moreness more personally satisfying. In the same way that your real life experience has more continuity than your dreams, even though you're creating both of them, and both of them are matches to the vibration that you're offering. There is more stability in the real life manifested world that you're describing, or that we are describing as real life, because there's been more focus and attention upon it. Our friend earlier is talking about some of that beginning to sort of disappear for him. See, his reality is beginning to follow his thoughts, his new thoughts, more than his stable thoughts. That's a sign of motion forward, really.
Mm-hmm. So if I look at something, like one of the exercises that I've always tried to do since I was little, and I'm now getting back into it, is, for example, that water bottle. I recognize that's a plastic bottle. It has a blue label. I see that, the frequency. And if I want, let's say, to be able to not see it as a water bottle, but see it as the actual energetic frequency that it is, see everything for the frequency that it is, am I able to step out of that and then be able to morph my being into that?
But we think by utilizing the word see, you automatically bring it into a conscious realization of the translation of vibration through your eyes, which is visual, which limits you right there because of the expectation that comes from all of that.
Right.
Where, you know, when you walk into a room, Esther is amazed because they have a house in Southern California and another one in Texas, and they don't spend very much time in either one of them. And every time she is in any of these, what she thinks are familiar places, she sees something that she's never seen before. It startles her and she will start by saying, I must have been unobservant. And when she settles down enough that we can speak to her in a way that she can hear us, we say, it isn't that you're unobservant of that, it's that you were observant of something else. And everything can't be active in your consciousness and therefore in your awareness at the same time. And so our conversation that we are having with our physical friends at this time is about helping you to redefine what parts of your world you want to make most relevant or most active in your vibrational awareness, so that you can expand your universe, so that you can have a fuller physical experience by utilizing the whole of who you are to be focused and present in this moment in time, you see. Because we don't think it's really very interesting, the bottle in and of itself. We think the whole co-creative experience is. We think that if you are tuned in to the energy of who you are and feeling the wholeness of who you are, you'll be guided, or you will know the power of the substance that you call water, and you will be guided to the most succulent, delicious, life-giving exposure and experiences to water. In other words, there are so many levels upon which your awareness of something like that can offer you benefit.
Okay. I have another question. One of the techniques that I've learned from listening to the CDs and the DVDs is every moment when I catch myself in thought is to come back and step back and say, what is it that I want? Is that the thought of what I want? And sometimes I find myself feeling emotions or having these thoughts, and it might be I don't want to say negative emotion, because emotions are what they are, but an emotion of competitiveness or maybe a little bit of frustration. And I find that they are rooted into subconscious habitual thought patterns that have been with me for years, and I'm trying to break them. I assume this is the first step, is to first be aware that you're having them.
Well, what happens, it's a good process. In fact, it's a process that we have even formerly taught. But what we notice is that when you're aware of something you don't want, the best thing you can do is say, what is it that I do want? But this whole gathering has been about helping you to not beat up on yourself when you realize that when you know what you don't want, and therefore you can articulate what you do want, doesn't necessarily mean that you're ready to jump your ship the 84 feet into the higher vibration of what you want. In fact, in most cases you are not, and you torture yourself by trying to affirm your way there.
I know. I do.
Because it tends to just make you dig in a stronger way,
yeah,
you see.
Definitely.
So instead of trying to think your way there, if you soothe your way there, our friend with her horse, we said, go graze with the horse, and we weren't kidding. The horse knows how to just knock it back, how to when trying you see, there's no effort. When the vortex is calling you and you are up to speed with it, there's no effort. There's no effort. So anytime you're offering what you feel is effort, what the real effort is the bucking of the resistant current of the split energy that you've got going on. So the answer is always the same. Soften, if you can, the resistance, which is responsible for the split energy. So we would say things to ourselves such as, everything in good time and all is well, and I don't have to do it this red hot minute. Esther says to herself, later, Gator. Later, Gator, meaning maybe I'll think about it later, but not right now. And the rhyme makes her laugh and feel playful about it. Later, Gator, later, Gator, later, Gator. And so what happens is it's what teachers for a long time have been wanting you to understand when they use the word surrender. You're not giving up on what you want, but you are surrendering or letting go of the resistance that right now is the only thing between you and what you want, you see. Helpful?
It does. How do I identify that resistance of what it is?
Well, you don't have to. This is the thing that we're saying. By saying, in other words, when you say, I know what I don't want, so I know what I do want, well, then it is a given that when you know what you do want, you also know what you don't want. So all of that is in play somehow. But by not trying to make it so mental, by stepping back from the mental and back from the manifestational and more into the emotional, what happens is you can find the vibration of it more easily. And as you find the vibration of it, then the vortex calls you in and then gives you the clearer idea. But it's the clearer idea of what is wanted. So what we just said to you is, by not working so hard to find the what I do want, in terms of, I know I don't want to not have enough money, I know I want plenty of money, instead of taking the specifics of the thought, if instead you say, I know what I don't want to feel this anxiousness. What is it that I do want? I want to feel ease. I want to feel alignment. I want to feel easy. I want to feel flow. So you take it from an emotional standpoint. What happens is you can usually get there quicker.
Right.
And then the vortex takes you in and gives you the ideas that you thought you wanted to reach for earlier, but you couldn't because you couldn't jump your ship up the 84 feet. Make sense?
It does.
What else?
Okay.